I'm Madeline Hooper. I've been gardening for over 20 years, and of course, with gardening comes a lot of aches and pains. So I finally decided that maybe I should find a fitness trainer to see if I could fix my problems. And a fellow gardener introduced me to Jeff Hughes. After working with Jeff, it dawned on me what would be more exciting than to travel all over America, visiting a wide variety of gardens, and helping their gardeners get garden fit. Taking care of your body while taking care of your garden, that's our mission. Jeff, I know I always carry on about how great all these gardens are, but today we are really going into a different culture. So before I start telling you about the garden, what did you do when you woke up this morning? Things you can tell me.
Okay, you know me. So, woke up, sat up, propped the pillow a little bit, then I did my meditation.
Right.
And that's kind of how I start my day.
Well, I think we're going into an environment where you are definitely going to want to meditate. And that is because we're going to a Japanese garden.
A Japanese garden?
Yes, right here in America.
So tell me about it.
Well, I spoke to the owner and the creator of the garden, this man by the name of Bob Levine. He explained to me a lot about Japanese gardens. I'll show you some things that I brought along. Yeah.
The Mary Poppins
Yes.
bag. What are you pulling out today?
Okay, so here in the West, when we design gardens, I mean, when people do them, usually they are creating walkways and alleyways with trees or plants. The plants come first. And in a Japanese garden, rocks come first. Rocks being the most important feature in the garden, and you design everything around that as opposed to designing a big landscape. And so it's really a total different focus.
It's the opposite.
It is. It's pretty exciting. So I thought I'd bring you an example, a small example of what Bob has in his garden.
Oh.
So this is a granite rock, but you see how it's striated and there's so much interest?
And all the little twinkly stuff in there.
Yeah.
Layers of earth time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also another thing about this place is the mind, body, and spirit connection.
Hold on, just stop. I'm loving Bob, and I haven't met the man yet.
Right. Oh, you love him. I am so excited. I can't wait to actually meet Bob. I've spoken to him so many times on the phone, but I've never met him. And there he is.
Madeline.
Bob.
How nice to meet you.
It's so great to actually see you.
I love it.
How are you?
I am well. Welcome to my garden.
Thank you so much. And this is Jeff Hughes.
Jeff. Very
Jeff,
nice to
Bob
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
This is just beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't
Thank
it
you.
spectacular?
Thank you. If you think this is beautiful, I want you to understand you're in the world of the present now, and we're going to move into a completely different realm in a moment.
I'm excited.
Ready to do it?
Yeah,
Let's
lead
go.
the way.
Come on.
Thank you. Wow, here we are. Isn't it gorgeous?
So do you sense the environment? What I was trying to achieve here was tranquility. And I think the marriage of texture and form and color is that kind of tranquil sense where you can feel your blood pressure dropping, your heartbeat slowing down.
You nailed it, Bob.
So how did you get to think about doing a Japanese garden?
I've been interested in Japanese culture and Asian culture very generally since law school. Because it was so cerebral, I wanted to extend my experience to more physical activities, and I got involved with karate. And what I found was, while I was very much interested in the martial art, the spiritual and mental side of it was really resonating with me. And from that time on, I've had a love of Asian culture and read and studied much about it, and looked to the day when I could somehow embody that in something physical. And when I retired about 8 years ago, I thought, if I'm ever going to do it, now's the time. And this is the result, and it's a work in progress. It gives me constant pleasure.
So are you picking all the different plants in terms of texture and form?
Well, Japanese gardens traditionally primarily are stone, and the ancillary aspects are the plantings, which are really intended to to supplement and enhance the beauty of the stones. The name Japanese garden in ancient Japanese means placement of rocks, placements of stones.
That's why all these stones are placed first before you put the grass in?
That's correct. What we did was we started moving stones as we saw them into this space and then devoting a lot of time to placement, because the placement of the stones became incredibly important. And we tried to keep it within the ethos of the Japanese mentality,
Right.
where threes became important. The stones became Buddhist stones, moon stones. They represented all kinds of mythical concepts. This, for example, is a dragon, which is a very, very positive symbol in Asian culture.
Yes.
And on his forehead, you'll see that the white stone representing the pearl of wisdom, because the Japanese and Asians generally look upon dragons as being a font of wisdom as well as balance. And balance is such an important part of their lives, an important part of this garden as well.
You're
Very
talking my
important part of
language,
Jeff's.
Bob. This is great.
We're always talking about balance.
What this particular dragon represents is having achieved enlightenment. And that really is the representation of achieving the highest level of understanding of your place in the universe.
So the dragon is the ultimate.
Is the
place
ultimate
for
goal. And this dragon undulates as a path through the vegetation, up through the tea house, and into the waterfall. And we'll walk up its back.
This is so fabulous.
This-
Just looking here.
Yeah, well, that's the intention. Wherever you look, there should be some surprises.
You want to really just follow the path. I mean, it's a wonderful rhythm.
Why don't we
so
do
can
it?
we go up there?
Let's
Great.
do that. Absolutely.
So let's talk about the plants. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts about how you like to actually select the individual plants.
Well, again, harmony is the most important consideration. So we have a lot of mix of deciduous plants along with evergreens. Evergreens are very important in Japanese gardens because they sustain themselves in every season.
around.
So in the winter, it's just as beautiful and colorful as it is in the summer. I've
Makes sense.
expanded on that a little bit by adding flowering plants as well, which is not really technically Japanese, but
Right.
it's my interpretation of what they might have done. So it's more of a fusion of West and East that I've added to it, recognizing this is not Japan, it's America, but I so respect the Japanese ethos that I try to make that as the foundational concept of the garden.
That makes sense. It is your garden, after all.
True.
But again, I think it's the rhythm and the flow of everything that's so beautiful. Like walking down these stairs of stone, which are not flat.
No, they're not flat, and they're not intended to be easy to walk on. They're intended essentially to keep your eyes downcast so that when you do look up, you say, wow.
What about these three balls?
Again, the circle is a very important part of Japanese culture and Asian culture generally because the circle represents energy. And you've seen the Zen symbols
Yes.
of the circle, these lines through it. It's all a question of energy. And all of life is energy, essentially. And if you can control it, it can be used for all kinds of good.
It's exciting.
Am I speaking
And
to you?
it's
Speaking the language that I have taught now. Yes.
really, it's like
I like to hear this.
getting it reinforced. And this just knocks me out. Your lanterns are so beautiful. The stone lanterns are fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. It's a lantern that probably was made sometime in the late 18th century. This is the stone garden or dry garden, which has an absence of vegetation on the ground, which is also a meditative garden. Everything essentially is stone and dry, but it creates a completely different atmosphere. And this is a nice place just to kind of chill. But what's particularly enchanting about this particular area for me is the view down to the lower geometric orchards. All of them have meaningful patterns that all are interconnected and have a symmetry. And further below us is a dry river, which is also a very Japanese conception of the illusion of a river that winds through the garden and then
Don't you love that
exits
idea?
into the forest.
Yeah, yeah. There's a rhythm,
There's
right?
there's a flow here that
Yeah.
just surrounds you.
He got crazy with himself.
Yeah, I love this rock coming straight up out of the.
Oh, right. This
ground.
is a signature rock. It could be virtually anything you'd like it to be. I look at it as a crane that's rising from the center of the earth. Other people see other things.
This bamboo must sound incredible when the wind picks up.
Oh, it is wonderful.
So this river of rocks, which is fantastic, how do you keep this weeded? I mean, almost weeded.
You found a weed?
I found a weed.
So how would you pull these weeds out? Can you show me how you weed?
Jeff, you're going to embarrass me. Well, my first instinct is to do it like this.
Uh-huh.
But I know that's wrong. So I'm more inclined to bend your knees like this.
Okay.
Am
And
I
you
right?
pull that weed out. Might as well get it while you're down there.
How'd I do?
Terrible.
Thank you.
You did great, Bob. You did great. It gives me a reason to be here. Bob, this has just been wonderful seeing this garden that you've created. The balance and the zen. And I know a lot of us, you have problems. We all have these aches and pains. What bothers you the most? What gets in your way?
Well, being a gardener, I probably share the same complaints that most gardeners do, and that is lower back, knees.
All right. I was watching you, and that was my guess. We're going to not go with the lower back. We're going to go with the posture. We're going to do a little exercise, and it'll be part of what I have you doing for 4 weeks, okay? So stand up right here. So stay right there and just turn sideways, and I'm just going to take a picture right here. All right, so we're going to do a little exercise. I happen to have some rubber bands. Here's what I want you to do. Go all the way, yours is a little shorter than mine, so go all the way to the end and give it a nice wrap around your hand. Now go all the way to the other end, and the same thing, give it a wrap. All right, now I'm gonna make mine the same length as yours. All right, now just kind of aim this way. Now there's rules here. You have to keep your elbows locked. All right, and then you want to try to elevate your chest right now. Keep that chest elevated. And all I want you to do is keep that distance and bring your arms up, and you're gonna run into your shoulder, just like you felt me do. Now push against it a little bit, push it back there. You're feeling that stretch, right? Now when you bring your arm down, leave it there for a second. When you bring your arm down, I want you to leave your shoulder here. Don't let it follow, okay? So keep your elbows straight, lock them out, and bring it down right to there. All right, now take it back up again. Run into your shoulder again. A little bit more, push it back. Good, now hold it there and just bring your arm down in front of you. Keep those arms straight and pull your face back a little bit. Keep it back there, good. And one more time, take it back. So what we have done is just incrementally push those shoulder blades back 3 times. Get that chest out there, bring those arms down, and keep those arms straight. Now what I want you to do from here is bring that band out, all the way out and around your body. Keep going around your body. Keep going until it goes around your body. So you felt your back have to kick in to get it around your body. Keep this here, keep that chest out, and just hold back on it as it comes in. So you're keeping that resistance. Keep going. Now back out again, 3 times. We did 3 up, 3 out, round the back. Feel that squeeze back there. 1 more, take your time, way back. Way back. Now really hold that resistance on the way in. Take it up 1 last time, as high as you can go. Now, slowly bring it down to your hips and pull your chest up. So this is going up, this is going down, all the way there. Don't move. But be relaxed. Don't feel like you have to hold that stiff. All right. I want you to look at the difference between that guy and that guy.
That's remarkable, isn't it?
I'm just gonna fix this real quick. When you're standing, I noticed how you sit into your knees instead of actually stand up. There's nothing wrong with that unless you do it all day long, every day. And after a while, it's really hard on your knees because what you're doing is you're making this up here just want to slide off instead of sit on top. So you need to stand up nice and straight, okay? Now we're gonna pick some weeds. When you were picking the weeds, you did it 2 ways, which was beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better way to do it. The first time you bent over, okay? Obviously all your weight's here. And then when you go to pull the weed up, it's like adding 20 pounds to your body weight because it's pulling back, right? So then you fixed it all by putting your feet next together and doing this. You had the right idea. You wanted to bend your knees to get down. Know going in that if you bend your knees, they're going apart from each other. They can't stay next to each other. So go ahead and plan ahead. Have your feet apart. Then your knees don't move. You go down inside your knees, all right? Which hand do you like to pick with? Let's just pick one you want to.
Right hand.
All right, so put that foot a little closer to what you're going to pick. There you go.
Okay.
Just drop down and put your arm right here. Now your back's not holding you up anymore, right? And you got a foot here, so when you lean over, it's holding you. Grab that weed. And when you come up, you're coming up.
How do I do this with the 10,000 weeds I've already picked?
Well, grab your bunch. You can move around a little bit in that. And then you can switch.
Makes sense.
Walk your way around.
It makes absolute sense.
What I want you to do is practice weeding that way. And try to be as heavy as you can with your forearm on your leg. Really push it. Try it a couple times. Go wide with your feet. All right, so we know what we're doing for 4 weeks, right?
You got it.
I need a promise from you. 4 weeks. You're gonna do the band every day, 3 times a day. When you're picking those weeds, embrace everything I've taught you. We got a deal?
We have a deal.
All right.
Excellent. To be able to pull the weed without pain, very exciting.
It all made sense, right? So
Absolutely.
it's hard to do it all the time right now, but as long as it makes sense, then your body starts to accept it. I see you sitting up straight, so it's starting to take effect, right? Your body's feeling it.
In 4 weeks, we're going to come back and see what's new in the garden with no weeds, Bob. So go slow.
Well, there you go.
And as you get it, just kind of
That's right. There's the
speed up.
garden and the fit right there.
Yeah.
You're going to be fit with no weeds.
So, Bob, that was
So,
an
Bob.
experience. I
Yeah.
loved his garden.
I
Jeff.
love Bob.
You know, I really enjoyed listening to you and Bob talk about Eastern philosophy, meditation, martial arts, balance. I know that's all a big influence in both your lives, and it is in mine now too, because you taught me how to meditate, and you kind of gave me an understanding of strength through balance. So is all of that the basis for Yin Yang?
Well, yeah, it is, Madeline. Yin Yang is like the ancient, epic Eastern philosophy of dualism. You know, the opposites, light and dark. And when you bring them together, it's balance.
Well, Bob certainly understands that because in the way he's created his garden, Jeff, the way he has plants placed, the way he puts his rocks in a position, and certainly his geometric shapes all reflect balance.
Bob's major sources of pain were his lower back and his knees. And believe it or not, these two are related. So I decided to give him a strength routine to change his posture and change the way he uses his lower body. And if you put those two together, it'll give him a little bit of strength down there, and they'll begin to just naturally guard themselves.
Well, that makes sense.
I have a demonstration I've been thinking
You
about
do?
showing you.
Oh,
Yeah, and it kind of really relates to what I taught Bob. And typical,
Broomstick?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is just hold your hand out.
Okay.
All right, I want you to just hold the stick right there at the very end, and I want
Okay.
you to hold this out level.
Let go.
All right. How's that feel?
It's getting heavy.
Yeah, it's just a broomstick. You're holding it with your hand.
Yes.
Okay, so what are you holding your hand with?
My wrist,
Ah, and what's holding your wrist?
my arm,
And what's holding your arm?
my shoulder,
And what's holding your shoulder?
my shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, time's going by.
It's getting
and you're-
heavy.
Even though you're holding with your stick, you're starting to feel something upstream, right?
I am.
Where is it right now?
Really, it's past my elbow.
Uh-huh.
It's going right up my arm.
All right, I'm gonna take the stick away now.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to really register how you feel. Where are you feeling this?
Yeah.
All right.
Down this
now,
whole
what I
area.
want you to do is hold your other hand out with your finger. And I'm going to set this in here. I have a little balance point. I think I can get that right set. And I just want you to hold that right there. You can use your thumb just in case it rolls for a second.
Okay.
All right. Now, very gently take your thumb off. Let it balance out. And how does that feel?
So much lighter.
Lighter.
It feels like a different stick,
It
Jeff.
feels lighter.
It does.
What if I told you it's the same stick? No matter where you hold it, it weighs the same. It doesn't weigh any more or any less, no matter how you hold
The
it.
difference is amazing.
Yeah.
The difference is very, very grand.
Yeah, but
Yes.
when you held it out of balance, you felt a chain of pain all the way somewhere other than where you were actually holding it, just like Bob feels it in his back when his head and shoulders are out of balance.
Right.
So when you held it balanced, you felt more powerful.
I did.
Yeah, balance equals power. I read that somewhere.
Yes. So when we go back, we're going to see a whole new Bob.
Yeah. Oh, hey, wait, you know what? I've been thinking about this the whole time. I said to myself, when I come back, I'm doing Bob's garden barefoot.
By the way, what's up with your hair?
It's a samurai look. We're at a Japanese garden. I wanted
We
to
are at a
have
Japanese
little something
garden.
going on.
And Bob said if we get here early, we could really go around the garden. So I think we should go meditate.
All right, let's do that.
welcome.
Bob.
Surprise.
Bob.
I'm sorry to disturb you.
Wow. It's so good to
Hi,
see
Madeline.
you. How are you?
Nice to see you as well. Jeff, how
Hey.
are you?
Just kind of made ourselves at home.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this
We
is
took your
intended
word for that,
How did it
yes.
feel? Pretty good?
It felt great. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful
Bob,
space to
how do
meditate
you feel?
in.
I feel great. I
Yeah?
have to tell you, this 4 weeks that we've not seen one another has been transformative for me. I really have evolved from somebody who was in constant pain to somebody who has mobility that I haven't had in years, literally.
That's so
My
good to
upper
hear.
back, because of the stretching now, it no longer is painful. My neck moves with great mobility and very little pain. My lower back, the pain is almost gone. My legs feel terrific, all because of the exercises, and the way you taught me to weed has been changed my life.
I noticed there's less weeds coming in,
There
too.
are less weeds.
I spent a lot of time literally crouched in the position you taught me, weeding. It's been absolutely terrific. In fact, one of the really more significant changes was that I had stopped studying and performing my Tai Chi Chuan forms for about 2 years because of the back pain and this discomfort that I was suffering. And now with these exercises, I've gone back to that, believe it or not.
Oh,
And it feels absolutely wonderful.
that's great. That's you. And it's so great that you could go back to that, because I know that is you.
Indeed.
That's fantastic. So, Bob, now that you're new, what's new in the garden?
Well, as you can see, Madeline, the garden is absolutely exploding with life
is.
and vitality. We've had a lot of rain, and there's been a tremendous change in the foliage and the colors and in the size. And in
good.
fact, I have a little surprise for you down there.
Great.
I
Love
love
surprises.
surprises.
Let's do
We'll
it.
follow you. Bob, these apple trees got so big since we've been here.
I know the foliage is absolutely explosive, but what's interesting is the fruit is approaching being ripe. I give it another 2 weeks or so, and we'll have applesauce from these trees. The pears are just covering the trees, and the peaches are more than I can remember in past years. So in a period of time, I guess people will be coming with bushels and just taking the apples away.
I guess so. So, what kind of apples are these?
These are Macintosh apples, which
You
make
like those?
great applesauce.
They do.
Terrific applesauce, absolutely.
They're kind of my favorite apples also. And
Yeah.
I also think that, again, the rhythm and the way you've done the squares around the trees inside a big circle, isn't that interesting? Yeah.
But
I like-
actually, you're absolutely right, Madeline. And what it represents essentially are geometric forms that are interlocked throughout this portion of the garden, where you've got circles and circles and squares, all of it coming together to be a very, very interesting geometric pattern, which could probably be best seen from 20,000 feet.
Well, we're going to come back. We're going to meditate. We're going to eat some apples. But right now, I really want to know what our surprise is.
Come with me.
Yeah, okay.
Madeline, Jeff, what I'm going to try to achieve is a physical manifestation of everything you've seen in this garden. And I think it can be represented by Tai Chi Chuan, which is really a Chinese phenomenon, but its applications certainly relate to the Eastern ethos and I think what this garden is trying to intend to achieve. Tai Chi Chuan is a marriage of all the elements of your existence, which is to say your body, your mind, and your spirit. And in those three items, the tri-harmony, you've covered the essence of your very being. And Tai Chi Chuan will respond to each one of those elements. So the first thing we're going to do is align yourself as straight as you can and move your left foot a little bit more than shoulder length, and simultaneously move your right leg 45 degrees to the right. Put all your weight on the right leg and move your toe to the side of that leg. With your hands, hold a large medicine ball. Step forward, and as you move your hands, straighten your back foot to 45 degrees in perfect balance. Breathe very, very gently and clear your mind of all thought. You're going to be a state, essentially, of Mu Shin, which is no-mindedness. You now know Tai Chi.
That felt great.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Well, I have a surprise for you up here.
You
Oh.
do.
More?
Indeed.
Here we are on these steps again.
I really like the idea of these uneven steps. You explained it that first visit. That
Keeps your eyes cast down.
It
yes, Oh, sushi.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this looks so beautiful, Bob. This is just lovely of
This
you
is
to
great,
do
Bob.
this.
This is a great surprise.
Yes,
This is a nice way to say goodbye, isn't it?
this
Yeah,
is a
it
nice
is,
way
yeah.
to say goodbye.
So tell me about your bare feet, Jeff.
All the time you said you spent placing those stones and really trying to make something out of this garden, I didn't want to miss that this visit.
I love that.
You got it.
Yeah, I think this whole garden is a Zen wow.
By your saying that, it makes me feel wonderful because that's the intention. But I must say, the experience that I've had is equally profound. You guys have really done something very special for me.
Thank you.
It was
very
just
welcome.
a fantastic experience.
Watch this. Feet apart.
There you go.
Well done. Thank you
Lovely.
so much.
Bob,
Jeff, lay it on me.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
This has just been such an incredible experience.
Before we start, how about a toast?
Good idea.
Absolutely.
Here's to your beautiful garden.
And back at you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, that's good sake.
Oh,
Wow.
very nice.